Welcome back to Fluttering Butterflies. My name is Michelle, and for this video I would like to share with you my first of many LGBT YA roundups. I recently read somewhere on a website that was saying we need more booktube channels that focus on or feature LGBT YA, and it kind of felt like, really should be doing this already. So as I said, I really hope that this is the first of many roundups with some LGBT YA recommendations. I love reading LGBT YA, and I'd really like to share with you some of the books that I've come across so far this year. So in this video I'm going to be talking about 4 books. The first is Lies We Tell Ourselves by Talley. I've already written a review of this book for my blog. I will leave a link down below. I heard amazing things about this book last year, and I kind of felt like I was missing out on something really special. So in January, one of the first books that I read this year was Lies We Tell Ourselves, and this is a story about a segregated school in 1950s in the South of America. And this school has decided to integrate their school and bring in 10 black students as sort of an experiment. And the whole book is told from 2 perspectives. The first is from one of the black girls who is integrating this school, and it details her experiences and mostly a lot of the racism and abuse, extreme bullying that she faces. And the other perspective is from a white girl who goes to this school and whose father is one of the most outspoken people against integration. And I found both perspectives really interesting. I loved seeing both sides to this story, and especially the white girl's perspective, to see how racism and these sort of prejudicial thoughts and things are passed down from generation to generation. I found it really interesting. Now, the 2 girls do end up falling in love with each other, and I thought that that aspect of the story was really interesting. It was interesting not only because of their differences in race, but also everyone's prejudices against same-sex couples. I thought it was really interesting. It was really emotional and thought-provoking for sure, and I will definitely be picking up more in the future by Talley. And the second book that I'd like to talk to you about today is Love Hurts, an anthology of short stories and extracts edited by Malorie Blackman. Now, Love Hurts as a collection and as a project is one of the things that Malorie Blackman did during her time as Children's Laureate, and she really wanted to produce something that would help young people with their recommendations of what to read next. And I really love this collection. I know that it has come across a lot of criticism from other book bloggers and booktubers because of the sheer number of extracts in the anthology, and there are just a small handful of original short stories, and I think everyone was calling for wanting more original content, but I thought it was brilliant. And I especially loved the level of diversity included within this book. Not only different sexualities, but also different people of color, different abilities, at least one other different religion from a white middle-class Christian perspective. And it was really good. Based on this one book, it made me go out and buy and read 2 other books, Grasshopper Jungle by Andrew Smith and How They Met by David Levithan, which I probably wouldn't have done without the push from reading the extracts in Love Hurts. So I really enjoyed this collection. In particular, I loved Laura Dockrell's short story, Gentlewoman, about a transgender character and the sort of challenges but also acceptance that this character receives. It was beautiful and I cried reading it. I also really loved Susie Day's short story called Tumbling, about two fangirls who are meeting up. They've met each other online and they're having like their first coffee date together, and I loved it a lot. A lot of the short story is from the perspective of just the one girl and all of her sort of confidence shaking thoughts before meeting up with her date, and it was wonderful. I really loved it. The third book I wanted to talk to you about today is Grasshopper Jungle by Andrew Smith, which I've already mentioned that I picked up and read based on the extract that I read in Love Hurts, edited by Malorie Blackman. In Love Hurts, it has an extract of the main character describing his first kisses, and his first kiss with a girl and his first kiss with a boy, and I really loved that. I thought it was really interesting, and I quite liked the way in which the story was being told from that extract, so I was intrigued enough, especially from a lot of other comments from other readers about how they either hated it or loved it, and there wasn't much in between. So I picked that up. I will leave a link down below. I did do a full review of that book, and it has a lot more of my thoughts on it. I really liked it. I thought it was a really original story. It's basically one boy's historian look at the end of the world, and a lot of the details and events that led up to it, but it's also his exploration of his own identity. He has a girlfriend that he loves and adores, but he has all these other feelings for his best friends, and I really liked that aspect of the book. There are definitely problems that I had with the story. I found that it was a bit repetitive. It was really gross in different parts, and I didn't love the female character's kind of passive role in the story, but overall I really enjoyed the story. The fourth and final book that I'd like to talk to you about today is I'll Give You the Sun by Jandy Nelson, which I thought was absolutely incredible. I really adored Jandy Nelson's debut book, The Sky is Everywhere, and I've been hugely excited to read anything else that she writes, and I thought I'll Give You the Sun was incredible. The story focuses on two twins. There's a boy twin and a girl twin, and it's each of them is their own narrator of this story, but it also kind of jumps in time. So there's like a 3-year gap in the story, and I think the boy is telling it from a younger perspective and the girl is telling it from an older perspective. And there's sort of a mystery as to what has happened within these 3 years to have these two characters, siblings, and also this family sort of implode around them. Now the boy character is gay, and that is something that is explored in his relationships, but it also feels a lot more like this story is about grief and family and siblings, and definitely art. Loved the way that art is presented in this book. This whole family kind of circles around their love of art in different ways, and I just loved it. There was something really magical about reading about this art in this book that made me want to know more about art history and about these different artists and techniques that are brought up in this book. I loved it. I really loved it, and I loved the characters, the way that they interacted with each other. It was really beautiful and emotional, and I found myself just completely swept away in it. So that's it from me today, the first of hopefully many LGBT YA roundups. Thank you so much for watching. Have you read any of these books? Do you have thoughts on them? Let me know in comments. I will see you again next time.